Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of our live stream series. We have previously only done this where we have had just me blathering on about one topic for 30 minutes all by my lonely self. So I am so excited today to have Jon Ambach joining us. Welcome, Jon.
Thank you, Aquila. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, so you are a wonderful entrepreneur that we have gotten to know here recently and really wanted to tap into your expertise about seasonal marketing, how it works best, what doesn't work, all the things we're going to kind of dig into. But tell me a little bit more to start about your journey becoming an entrepreneur and what you're up to these days.
Absolutely. So I first started my business, which was an exterior cleaning only business, about 4 years ago. Kind of just tired of corporate, wanted to get out of the house. So really felt kind of compelled to start a home service business and just be out in the field. I felt very comfortable there versus behind a desk all day. And most recently, I merged with another company. The owner is Patrick Green. So we're business partners now, and we created Bright Choice. So we really wanted to take 4 years of knowledge of us working independently and just combine that knowledge and build like a beautiful brand. And yeah, it's been fun so far. We've only been kind of together for 4 or 5 months now, so
Yeah.
still very new.
And you wouldn't even know it from like talking to you guys and being around you guys. You just have blended so seamlessly together, and you're very much like already trusting each other about decisions and going back and forth. And, I'm sure there's some times where you're having to hash things out and decide, what direction you're going to go in. But you guys seem to just have a really good level of communication down already.
Thanks. Yeah, we dated for about a year, a little more than a year, and we officially got married like a few months ago or whatnot. And it was funny because we had like our first argument and disagreement this past weekend, and it was just really funny, kind of like working through it and talking through it. And it was nothing major. It was just like communicating, and we both had told our wives, which I thought was funny, that we were arguing. And then on Monday, it was just, I don't know, it felt like a good milestone. It's like when you're in a serious relationship and you have your first argument and you come through it okay. That's how it was. So it was, I don't know, it was funny.
Yeah, that's too funny. So walk us through, you mentioned, I'm sure right now part of the high tension might be because you are in your busy season. So tell us a little bit more about what you guys are doing right now, what Bright Choice is up to in this seasonal, phase for y'all.
Yeah, so we offer temporary holiday lighting as well as the exterior cleaning side of things. And right now we're in the thick of just holiday lighting, and it's been really great. I think for us, it's really been, thankfully, with 4 years of experience, we've kind of learned like timing is everything. So we started our marketing journey just for holiday lighting in the middle of summer when it was like 100-degree days. So just laying the foundation and the groundwork of like what this is going to look like. That way, like last night we had our last like social media shoot for the season. So now everything's done, everything's lined up, and now all we need to do is focus on just operational excellence, and like our partners are handling all of the marketing and stuff like that. Everything's kind of already going. So yeah, leads have been flowing in, and it's been really cool because we've never been set up, like his business or my business was never set up 100% with a CRM system, website analytics, and just like a beautiful brand to kind of back us up. And now that we have that, it's really cool seeing just kind of the analytics and how things are performing, and just having all that data to look at and track. And it's really cool. We've never had that before.
And I think in your industry, in the home service world, it can be so tempting to just continue to nourish and nurture, word of mouth, and you're going to get referrals, and sometimes it can be so tempting to just say, no, that's what works. We're never going to go ahead and set up this other side of the business. But what are maybe some lessons that you've learned, or some benefits that you've seen from going ahead and making that leap and setting up that other part of the business?
Yeah, so I think it requires both. It requires kind of what you said, like those referral networks, and then as well as like the digital social media side of things. So when I first started, I only focused 100% on digital marketing. But the problem is, if you don't have a beautiful brand, if you don't really clearly understand who your customer profiles are or what services you're really providing, you spend a ton of money and your customer acquisition cost is really high. And if you're trying to build a business that's just beyond you doing the work, it's not profitable to scale that way. So this year we took a step back and we really dove into, we joined BNI, we joined Blue Collar Connect, and we built real world relationships. So I network with probably about 75 to 100 people almost weekly. So we did that, and that was very intentional, and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And then once we had the rebrand, we started working with you and your team. We use social media to amplify all of those relationships and all of those networking groups. So every single day for the last 2 or 3 weeks, we're tagged in various like neighborhood groups. We're tagged in like local San Antonio type groups with people asking about holiday lighting, because we've laid the groundwork and kind of built those relationships so they trust us. And then social media really amplifies like who we are and the services we offer and kind of educates them about that. So I think it takes both.
Right. Well, and I may be biased, but I love that you have brought on a team to handle the organic social, so that maybe if you would have been in this busy season and people start referring you for holiday lights, if you didn't have the time and the bandwidth to be posting on social, it could look like, oh, they still only do house washing. What are you talking about? Why would I, but you've made that effort ahead of time to be proactive in that all of your feed right now looks like holiday, and that's all been planned out and scheduled out. So has that given you any sorts of like, okay, I don't have to think about that, I can focus over here kind of,
Absolutely. And I view it in 2 ways. One, it's the actual work. So doing the actual work. And I think as like small business owners, we think like, oh, I could do that. Like I could post on social media. It's easy. It's easy. So I think that's part of it, is being able to delegate and understand like, okay, there's people better at it than me and more efficient at me, and I can get my time back. Because no one can do the things that I'm doing right now, which is like the sales and relationship building. No one else can do that, but we can trust other people to do our social media and do it better than us. That's one part of it. And then the second part is I'm 33 years old. I'm a dad, a husband. Like my perspective and viewpoints on life are very unique to me and where I'm currently at. Our customer profile, like the people who are the decision makers spending money on holiday lighting, typically don't look and think how I look and think. And that's just the reality of our business. So by partnering with like someone like yourself, by partnering with like mommy local influencers, they can tell our story from their perspective that resonates with who our like customer profiles are, because I don't think that way and I don't feel that way. So like by partnering with people that think and feel and understand those customer profiles, I think it just like really pushes us to the next level, versus if we try to do it all of ourselves, we can't bring those ideas to the table. We don't have them.
You brought up another, tactic that we've been implementing, the influencers. And I think that, again, it's very easy if you're a local home service, business, to think, well, I can't, that's not a good fit for me. That's not a good fit for my business. They talk about what skincare to buy. They don't talk about da 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 da. How did you come across, or how did you decide that influencers were something that you wanted to pursue this holiday season?
Everything Patrick and I have done over the last 6 months has been very like deliberate on how do we stand out from the competition. And we love networking with our competitors. We're very friendly. So I don't say competition as a bad thing. We love our competitors. They help us out all the time. But when you have 200 to 300 service providers on Google that are in your category within an 8-mile radius, you have to stand out, or you just are the same as everyone else. I haven't seen one local home service business in our industry work with influencers. So I knew that not only can they tell our story how it should be told, but we can also stand out from literally everybody else and provide original like content and original perspectives that no one else is doing. And I think I loved working with your team because y'all kind of gave us a list of probably like 15 or 20 influencers that
Mm-hmm.
we could pick from. And our criteria is very simple. Are they local? Are they, moms, or, are they homeowners? Because
Right.
obviously we have to put their lights up. And then we kind of picked the best ones that we felt like could tell our story. And it's been great. I mean, we've had influencers that live in like very key neighborhoods for us, like Inwood,
Mm-hmm.
the Dominion. And then, they have kids, and
Yeah.
it's been really good. And I think it's easy to say like influencer marketing doesn't work. There's no ROI, but we closed the deal yesterday from an influencer. It was a $1,400 deal, just one
That's
deal from
awesome.
an influencer. When we did the job in Inwood, we had 3 leads while we were there in their front yard working that day,
Mm-hmm.
3 different leads. So, and for those of you who don't know, we're doing their Christmas lights and their holiday decor for free in exchange for them creating
Mm-hmm.
content for us. And, is it going to be 100% profitable? Is it going to hit like our 10% marketing spend, like our ideal spend? I don't know. It's
Mm-hmm.
too soon to tell. But again, it's just telling our story, and we can amplify it organically through me sharing it on my social media. So all the people I network with see it. And we can also share it through paid Facebook ads or Instagram ads and really
Right.
amplify
Yeah.
that story. So it's been good. It's been good.
Yeah.
I've been very happy with the influencer content. They've
Right.
done an amazing
Well,
job.
and I think too, like that may help people feel a little bit better about working with influencers, to know that you can really drill down into, as long as you're working with somebody who knows, or if you know your market well enough, that there are influencers in specific areas, specific topics, specific, content or audience, really for every business. And it's something that I think more
Mhm.
businesses need to understand, that there are key, brand ambassadors out there that you could be leveraging, even if you think your type of industry isn't a typical fit for influencers. So I love
Yeah.
that. And you go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
No, I was gonna say I totally agree. I was. It's funny you say that because I was at BNI last week, and I heard someone who does insurance, like, actually no, someone from BNI. I watched one of their videos, and they were like, "Oh, like insurance just isn't sexy. Like it's just not sexy. This and that." But it's like, if you work with someone who's a professional storyteller, that's how I view influencers. They're professional storytellers. They
Mhm.
can think of creative and unique ways to tell that story, whether it's, like a tree fell on their home, or like their roof had hail damage, or they were in a car accident. Like they can share that story and talk about the impacts of like being uninsured or having good quality insurance, like whatever it might be. And that's like a very boring business, but
Right.
like you get someone to offer a very fresh perspective in exchange for however you might compensate them or whatnot.
Right.
And I think I love home service businesses. My stepdad was a general contractor for 30 years, so it like sits home. It feels like home for me.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why I've gravitated to it. And I think home service businesses have so many opportunities with the influencer marketing space. I mean,
Mhm.
I think of like AC companies. Some homeowners don't know, like, you should get your AC system service like in the spring before it starts getting hot, and then before you start kicking on your heater. That's a great opportunity to work with influencers
Mhm.
on, how they should get those inspections done and how easy it is, and like it
Right.
doesn't take much time. Or like if
Yeah.
there's a hailstorm and you're a roofer, go to an influencer's house, do a free inspection, like educate them on the things they should look for. I think there's so much potential for home service businesses to like leverage influencer marketing, and it's like wide open, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Right. Well, and to your point, I think that third party validation of having somebody else share that knowledge or share those tips, share those resources, having them be the one to say it and to say, this was my personal experience going through this, is
Hmm.
so much more potent than if we just have a talking head of the business owner or, what have you, saying, this is why you should have a roof inspection, da, 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 like
Right.
immediate tune out, immediate moving on, right?
Yep.
So I think from a seasonal perspective too, you've mentioned a couple times that y'all started in the summer. You guys have already thought through your budget. You've already thought through, hey, this is going to be, heavy spend on the front end. We're going to see how it pans out. We're going to see how it comes forward and goes through yes Vember, as you guys have
Yeah.
established. But walk me through how you have sort of built up your tolerance or patience, or prepared yourself for, hey, this is going to feel like a big spend at first, but we're going to trust the process, we're going to trust that this is going to work out? How did you kind of go through that journey as a business owner?
We got lucky, I'll say that first, because last year was Patrick's first year doing holiday lighting. So we had some customers already that we thought would renew this year. We don't do contractual agreements, but we do gentlemen's agreements, or, just like soft agreements where for 3 years, if you renew with us, we won't raise your prices at all. It's the same price,
Gotcha.
same package for 3 years. So we kind of already knew we had some revenue coming in. It hasn't been 100%. We've had some churn, some drop off, and that's okay. So we already had that. That helped us relax a little bit. And then the second thing is, you just kind of have to test things out and trust the process. Our digital, our online ad spend has really been underperforming. And compared to last year, the results have just not been good. And what we realized is, well, we didn't take into account the election. They're spending literally tens, maybe hundreds. They're probably spending hundreds of millions of dollars nationally on paid online advertising. And us as a small local business didn't take that into account. So our cost for Facebook ads is way up compared to last year. So that's been like a loss for us, even though we've been doing a great job. But all the networking we did this year that we didn't do last year has been generating so many leads. We had no idea. We probably get 50 people to our website on a daily basis from all the marketing we're doing. And a lot of that is just from all of the different Facebook groups where people see like, oh, who's doing your holiday lights this year? And everyone's like recommending Bright Choice, talk to Patrick, talk to Jon. So I think there's, it can be scary. I was talking to Patrick like the last week of October, and I was like, man, I don't know do we need to increase our budgets? What do we need to do? It's my first holiday season really marketing and pushing it. And he's like, Jon, you just have to wait till after Halloween's done and wait till after the election, and we'll see how it goes. So we still have our Facebook ads running, even though they've been underperforming, because we want to give it another week and a half till after the election. So I would say set your budget and stick to it as best you can. Be patient, because things take time to play out. And then also like test new things and understand like everything that you test, it's a test. It's not, we didn't do the influencer marketing campaigns to get rich. We only did 5 influencers, I think 5 or 6. And this is a test. And if it works well and if it's profitable, in my mind, I know early next October, if this works well, I'm going to do 10 to 20 influencers, save all that content, and then push it out the first 2 weeks of November. Because this year we're just testing it. So, I don't know. It's definitely a roller coaster of emotions. You just kind of have to sit tight.
Well, I think too, you've done a good job of planning your seasonal campaign to not just have one avenue that you chose. Like if you would have only done influencers and that's got to magically drive your entire, return, I think it would be a lot more stressful, right? Because you've only got that like one horse you've bet on that has got to do it for you. But you've really strategically picked not just one, but 2, 3, 4, 5 different avenues that, as long as they each send you something or one of them overperforms, it does great, everything else will kind of come out in the wash, and you guys will be, all the smarter, all the more educated and ready for the next season because of all the testing you've done.
Right. And that's a good point. I think another thing we've done really well is we are like hyper localized. So we're a very small business. We're a new business. We don't have a huge budget that like a franchise might have. And because of that, instead of targeting all of San Antonio, like 2 million people, we've like really narrowed it down. Like our Facebook ads target around 250,000 people. And we're just layering all of our marketing. So when we're so online, we're doing the organic content, obviously the referral partners, the Facebook ads, very targeted. And then from a print perspective, we're doing direct mail pieces in that target area. We're targeting 1,500 homeowners twice this month with direct mails. And then in the field, our vehicles are wrapped. We have the yard signs, and we pass out door hangers every time we do a job. So, and then we have a strategic partner that their customers are also in there, and they advertise for us. So it's like all these layers where if you live in that area, I'm hoping that you see us like 10 to 20 times this season between all of those channels. And you're going to think, wow, they're a really big company. They must be a franchise or something. But really, no, that's just, we're hyper focused and targeted there. And how we selected that area was off of last year's customers. So last year, this area probably had, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it was probably like 50 to 75% of our customers were in like these 2 zip codes. So the reason we picked this area is not because it's like the best area for us necessarily, but because it's been proven to have paying customers in that area. And this year we're going to double down. And then maybe in a year or two, when it's like, we feel like it's saturated, we're not getting more traction, we're going to go to the next area, maybe that next zip code, that next small town. And,
and your data might also be showing you where to go, from there too. You can continue to kind of check in, touch base, see, where you're naturally expanding, and then just lean into that. So that kind of leads me to my next question too. I feel like, we're talking right now about how to really amplify a seasonal marketing campaign and make a huge push in a short amount of time, and, make the majority of your revenue for the year in a very, 6-week tight time frame. But beyond that, let's say, we knock it out of the park. We get you guys, this wonderful batch of new customers here in this short time frame. How do you continue to connect with those customers? How do you continue to offer them some of those non-seasonal services once this holiday, season is over?
I think we've done a really bad job at continuing the conversation with our customers the last 4 years. And we've thought about it. Thankfully, we've thought about it a little bit here. So we're doing nice thank you gifts. We're doing like a nice, for anyone who does holiday lights with us, we're dropping off like a nice gift at their doorstep. And it's like these 3 custom made cookies. And it's like, one's a wreath with our red bow on it. One's a house with the bulbs on top of it. And then one's like our logo and whatnot. So it's like a nice little treat where it's branded, but it's very subtle, and it's a nice thank you. So we're doing that. And then also, I think, CRMs, good CRMs aren't cheap. And we've invested in one of the best CRMs that we can find for home service businesses. So we have the opportunity, now that we're gathering all of our customers' contact information, their emails, their phone numbers, obviously their address. It's not just in my phone, it's in a CRM system. We now have data and everything we need to retarget them. And I know that sounds like very not fun, not sexy, whatever, but we can use that information to say hey, thank you so much for doing your holiday lights with us. Spring cleaning's coming up, and we can send them a text message or an email and just saying hey, since you did your holiday lights with us, we'd love to give you this discount off your spring cleaning, and kind of give them something in exchange, and while still generating revenue for us. So having that CRM in place, you can do email automation, text message automation, things like that, where we'll be able to stay in touch with them 2 or 3 times a year. And then also going back to the social media side of things, we don't make only a small percentage of our content's boring. And usually that's the content where I'm the bright face and I'm talking in the camera. Usually that's the only boring content we have. We're trying to make content that's, social media is about entertainment. And if you can entertain people and have them look at your content, they'll stick around a little bit longer. So we're trying to make content that's trendy, that's relatable, that's fun, and that's unique. To not just us as Bright Choice, but to the season, right? To the holidays. We'll have to get really creative on how you make window cleaning sexy and fun, but we'll think of something. So I think social media, when they see those posts throughout the year, I think that's also going to help. And by working with those influencers and stuff, hopefully we're bringing some entertainment and joy in their lives, so they actually do want to follow us. So it's not just like every home service business posts the same thing: product and service posts, before and afters, and like reviews. All of it's boring. People don't. Your mom wants to see it. My mom's my number one fan. She loves all my posts. My aunt loves all my posts, but no one else does. So you got to get creative with it.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and I think you're doing such a good job of balancing out, customers want to feel appreciated and they want to feel like you actually value them and their business. But then you're also roping them into not just, thank you so much. And, here's your gift and here's your, continued discounts for your loyalty and but you're also sharing some of your personality. So you've got that kind of perfect combination of like, yes, you're a very professional, upstanding, high quality business, but you are also fun. You've also got a sense of humor. So that's like somebody that you want to hang out with. That's somebody you want to follow. That's somebody you want to connect with, above and beyond just, oh, that's my guy I call, once a year and then I don't think about, ever again. So I love that you guys are doing that as well.
Thanks. Yeah, it's all about building trust. And I think the more time, like if people can continue to see us from different perspectives and angles, I think it just keeps building trust.
Absolutely. So what would you say to somebody who is watching this right now and maybe they're like, wow, these guys are on top of it, but I am way behind. Like it's already my crunch time. It's already my season. And I feel like I haven't done anything I'm supposed to, put into place right now. What would be one or two things that they could do right now to still make an impact for their business if the holiday season is that kind of crunch time for them?
Yeah, I think if you're a holiday lighting company, it's going to be very difficult to get
Bright Choice. No.
I think, and that's just the truth. I think it's extremely difficult to do this during the busy season and still take care of your customers. And there's that balance where, thank God Patrick's in the field managing the team, taking care of our customers, because I'm not exaggerating, we've had more leads than we've ever been in business. And I'm behind on them and I'm just trying to keep up. But if I didn't have Patrick and I was in the field doing the work, our customers would have a horrible experience from like the very first time they message us. So you have to balance the two and you have to be able to handle the inbound. So I would say if you're in the holiday lighting and you're really trying to push it and make a difference, you probably are too late. But with that being said, we have spring cleaning coming up. Spring cleaning is going to hit March and April. So we're doing teardowns middle of July. So like from January 1st to like middle of January. I'm a little tired. And then as soon as that's done, literally the second half of January and the first half of February, we're thinking about our marketing plan for March, April, May spring cleaning. Like we're getting ahead of all of the marketing, the budget. What do we want to focus on? Like there's a lot we can focus on. Window cleaning, house washing, roof washing. Where are we going to focus our efforts? And that's going to determine where we spend our marketing budget, what type of marketing material we put out there. And it also is going to dictate like us operationally, what kind of team members do we need? If we're focused 100% on window cleaning, we need more team members trained on window cleaning versus if we're focused on roof washing, which are larger tickets, larger projects, you might only do one of those per day. It's much different operationally to do one large project a day versus like 5 or 6 window cleaning projects a day. So you want to plan that out like 2 months in advance, your marketing, then you can focus on operationally what's that going to look like if everything works out. And then you get in the busy season and you just focus on taking care of your customers, making sure your team's doing what they need to do, and then like having an awesome season. And then when it slows down, in the summer it slows down, we take a little bit of a breather. Also, we get back onto how do we promote the holiday lighting season. So we're June, July, August. So like August, September is probably when we're going to really start focusing on holiday lighting next year. We're going to start implementing end of September, early October, and then everything's on autopilot, hopefully by the end of October.
So I'm definitely hearing like lean into those cycles. Don't try to fight them, right? Like grab whatever season you're in,
Yeah.
just lean into that. And then, you mentioned leaning on your team, and you have Patrick, you have, team members that you can rely on to handle what they do best. And then you can be, focused on the sales side. So having that very clear kind of delineation can help you guys get through this busy season. And then I think the thing that you mentioned too at the very beginning that's really critical is, even if you feel like you're behind in that outbound marketing, the experience that you give anybody who's coming inbound and proactively reaching out to you, or a potential lead, even if it's just your normal batch of customers this year, treating them so well that it helps lead to additional opportunities, is the one thing you can control right now, right? Like, we all know we have a hard time controlling Meta. We have a hard time controlling Google ads. Like, all of that is really difficult, but that interaction with a customer right there in the moment is a place where you can hit a home run every time, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's without customers, you have no business. So you can have the best brand, you can have like the perfect pricing strategy, everything, but if you don't take care of your customers, if you don't like do a good job, you're just not going to have a business.
Yeah. And as an agency owner, that's so refreshing to have the client be so self-aware in that regard, that, we can do our part. We can absolutely, send leads your way, but to have the back end of closing the loop on not just the data, not just the analytics, but hey, we're going to handle every single lead. We're going to treasure every single lead that you're sending us and give it the best absolute shot we can, makes us feel really good as well too. So thank you so much, Jon. I really appreciate your time. And I know if you're behind on like following up with leads, I would be like, we gotta go. I got out of this. So thank you for spending the time with us today. How can people find out more? We've got our QR code up here, but tell people, if they're listening in and can't scan that QR code at the moment, how can they get in touch with you and find out more?
The best place is on our website, callbrightchoice.com. If you go to our website, there's a contact form. If you fill out that form, we have all the information we need to like give you a beautiful like digital rendering of what your home can look like for Christmas. And then from there, we'll give you a call and we'll be in touch with a proposal and kind of talk through some options for you. So callbrightchoice.com. If you fill out that form, that's the best way to get your holiday lights up before Christmas.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Jon. I can vouch as a customer, client, all the things, that it is a fabulous experience. You will never be able to go back to your normal DIY life. It absolutely has ruined us for being able to like see our normal lights in the same way ever again. So
thank you so much. This was my first time doing it.
It's not stressful, right? It's all good. It's a good time.
Yeah,
all right. Well, thank you so much. If you guys are interested in learning more about Bright Choice, again, that website is callbrightchoice.com, or you can scan that QR code up above us here, or connect with Jon on social media. I can also vouch for a very fun social media account if you go and find Bright Choice. So thank you so much, Jon. We'll talk to you soon.